and welcome to Trendsetter Salon here in the beautiful Highland, California. Come on in. Good morning, Redkin family. My name is Kristina Chavez, and I'm going to be sharing my journey into this amazing industry and how I came to find Redkin a valuable part of my career. Hi, I'm Tina. How may I help you today? You guessed it. Starting off in this industry, I was a salon coordinator. But not long after that, I decided to go behind the chair and become a licensed cosmetologist. An artist, a be-around boss babe. I wanted to be a part of this insanely creative community. A year after assisting, I moved to a new salon and rented a chair and started using Redkin for 8 years to come. But 3 years ago today, I moved to this salon, a Redkin salon, and I was so excited to say that. And not only that, but when it comes to sales, this salon is #1 in California. When the artist wants, Redkin gives. When we wanted something that would mute out unwanted tones and mattify the hair to give a mauvey look, Redkin came out with Shades of Q Mattes, which does that exceedingly, and it's one of my favorite lines in the whole Redkin series. So I'm going to go in with Flash Lift Bonder Inside on my client's hair. We're going to be lifting from a level 4 and trying to get to about a level 9, 10 possibly. I'm going to use the innovative measuring cup and spout that they created with this lightener, which I'm so obsessed with. We're going to measure it all the way up to the top line. There's 2 lines in there, one for 15 grams and one for 60 grams. And we're going to do the 60 grams and we're going to use our cup and we're going to seal that back up. Then we're going to go with the Redkin measuring cup. We're going to go in with 30 volume because we really do want to get that lift. No more than 30 though, because we do not want breakage or irritation on the scalp. We're going to go in with 2 ounces. It's a pro tip, which is a really good pro tip. It's a favorite of mine. I love to use it. Makes the consistency really creamy, easy to use, smooth on the hair, and no bumpies and grimies. We don't want any of that. We want smooth consistency. So we're going to go in with our Redkin spatula and we're just going to blend and smooth and mix just to get that creamy consistency. We don't want any bumping and grinding up in there. We want to make sure it's all the same creamy texture and consistency. I love about the spatula too is you can go around the lining of the Redkin bowl and make sure you get any leftover product that had been mixing around from when you poured it or from when you're mixing it. And it just makes it so easy to use. So you're just gonna keep moving around there, making sure. My rule is if you think you're done mixing, mix about a half a minute longer, maybe even a minute. The better the consistency, the better the outcome of your client's process. We definitely don't want to overmix because then the lightener will overproduce or basically it'll just process too quickly. So we definitely don't want to go in on the root. That is a no-no. We want to, even though it's short hair, you still want to think about the integrity of your client's hair. You want to keep those bonds together. That's why those fibers. We definitely don't want any breakage. And we also don't want to irritate his scalp because lightener, as we all know, definitely has a little bit of an itchy feeling. And so there's no need whatsoever to go in on the root, even with shorter haired clients. And I'll even show you what I do for the sides of his hair that are extremely short. And you would, like some people might just go in and slap bleach right on there and lather it up. But that's not what I do because, like I said, we don't want to irritate that scalp, especially on younger kids that are frequently in the salon nowadays getting a lot of stuff, creative stuff done to their hair with lightener and color and all that. So we really want to keep that, good experience for those new clients and not scare them away from the salon. How many of us have heard that story with new clients? Oh my God, my hair, it was traumatizing. We don't want those stories. We want to keep it really fun and exciting. And the best thing about your first experience in the salon, if it is your first experience, is that you're just having so much fun, and your hair just kind of brings out your new hair. Basically, what your artist is creating on you is bringing out something new and fun in your own personality. So we're just keeping to those ends, not trying to hit the root whatsoever. There's too much warmth there and it'll process too quickly and just give too much irritation too quickly on the scalp. We want to do that the very last minute, or after 10 minutes of processing the top. So once the top pieces of the hair, the mids and the ends, zones 2 and 3, definitely not zone 1, zone 2 and 3, we want to make sure fully saturated first, and then we will go in to zone 1. But once they are all done, we will process for about 10 minutes. And once those 10 minutes are up, we will then go into zone 1, which is the root. You want to really be mindful of those baby hairs as well. I noticed I didn't go in on those right away. We started at the crown, back of the head, because those are the most resistant areas. They're a little bit thicker of a strand of hair. They're usually a lot darker than the front of the hair. And so that's where you always want to go in first, always in the back with lightener, going to the front. And we're still keeping to that no zone 1 application, only zone 2 and 3. So what I was talking to you about here is that I'm only lightly dusting. I'm showing you that it's already processing, and this is why we go in to zones 2 and 3 first. So what I do is I take the applicator brush that has the longer strands of bristles on there, and lightly dust, basically, or just lightly touch, really, the hair. I don't press. You notice I'm barely going in there and touching. And what that does is it may look like we're hitting that root area, but remember, because his hair is so thick, when it's shorter, like when you hair this short, the strand of hair is a lot stronger because it's closer to the scalp. It's new growth and it's very thicker and stronger, so it goes very smooth down to the scalp. So it kind of hides the scalp of his head. So by just dusting the top of it, you're only hitting the ends of those strands of hair. You're not hitting the root. You're not hitting the actual scalp where his skin is to irritate it. So that way it doesn't burn. And I kept asking my client, making sure, does it itch or anything? And he had no feeling whatsoever. And so you can definitely tell that that obviously it's not on the scalp and it's not irritating him. Notice how you can still see that darkness in between, which means, obviously we're not hitting that scalp and it's not irritating. You want to be mindful of their ears, because we haven't given him that fresh cut yet. So we want to do the bleaching first, the lightening first. And even though we're not going in on the root yet, we still don't want any lines in there, because that's going to create unevenness. And we really just want to focus on saturating evenly throughout everything before we start processing for that 10 minutes and waiting to the very last for that back neck area, because that back neck area is, as we all know, the most itchiest part. So we want to scratch it so bad, but it's a no-no. We don't want to do that. As you can see, he doesn't have any irritation going on just yet, which is fine, because we will be having to go in on that root. Make sure you do be mindful of those ears, even the neck, anything, just in case anything is leaking or anything like that, though it shouldn't be if the consistency is good, or if your glove may have hit his ear and got lightener on it. Just make sure you keep everything clean and consistent. So it's processing very nicely on the ends, but we still want to make sure we saturate the sides of the head, the parietal ridge, around the area of the ear, all these areas that can tend to get forgotten, and then we end up with those black, well, it looks black anyways because the hair gets so light, spots, and that's never fun. So now we are done. Everything's smooth and consistent. We want to let that process, which it's pretty much already is in the crown, and on the sides is barely getting there, which is fine because, like I said, we're still going to go in on that root, and then I'll show you what we're going to do on the sides, because those are the trickier areas where the hair is a lot shorter. But there's a good trick to it, and it's actually with the Redkin applicator brush you use. We're just going to do a little dance, a little Redkin dance, because you know that always helps the process go faster. And who doesn't love a Redkin dance? It's the best. Gets you all hyped up. My client has no clue what I'm doing behind him. It just makes it funner. Gotta wait those 10 minutes until your alarm goes off, and then you don't want to go in too soon. You want to really make sure you have this timer. Yep, it just went off. So now we're gonna go in with that smaller, shorter bristled applicator brush, and then go in on the root. And the reason why we want to use those shorter bristled applicator brush is because we really just want to focus on the root now. And more so than that, once we start going around the sides of the parietal ridge and the nape area, we're going to utilize those short bristles to really saturate through to the root, because like I said, those hairs are tougher and a little bit stiffer because they're shorter, and so we want to utilize those bristles that are stronger because they're shorter to move and brush through and get to that root area, because we definitely don't want any spotting. So yeah, you'll notice I'm really just focusing on the root area, making sure I don't overlap too much, but we definitely will add more lightener to the ends, because remember, we just went in with a little bit of saturation, just enough that the ends would process and give it even developing time, so everything comes together at the end. And we're just going to take 1/8 to 1/4 inch sections at a time. And remember, his hair is short, so it's not like when you have a longer haired client that you can take a long, probably about maybe a whole slice of hair, hold it back, and even clip it back and do their root. This is different because it is shorter. You want to make sure you only take about an inch across, so you can still hold the hair down. But the thing I love about the applicator brush is that you can use the tip because it's pointed and really cross section those, almost like you use for your foil. The end, the metal piece, is really nice to utilize that. So the Redkin brushes have that nice pointed tip, which gives for easy separation when you want to get to that root. And we're moving pretty quickly here. His ends are looking really good. Already processing, which we love because, as I said, we're starting from a level 4, which is pretty dark, not super dark. It's not 1 or 2 or 3, of course, but level 4 is still in that darker area, unlike a level 5. Once you get to like a level 5, natural virgin, of course, it is definitely in that more easier, lighter haired, almost blonde, in that natural blonde category. As for 1 to 4 is definitely a lot darker. It's going to have a lot harder of a lift, a lot more orange and red that will appear. So we have to break through a lot more to get to that nice 10, 11, hopefully 10, 11. We'll see. We don't want to do any damage and we don't want to irritate. So that's why we will tone, and we're going to get a more mauvey look out of this anyways, and it's going to be super fun with the shade DQ, of course. So we're working our way to the front because, like I said, he has baby hairs there, and we don't want to saturate those right away. We want to wait for those because they're going to process quickly, and also we don't want damage because they are more softer and shorter. And when I say softer, I mean the density and the texture in the back compared to your hair texture and density in the front is totally different on most people. So his hair is a lot more baby fine in the front. We don't want to damage those. We want to keep the integrity strong there. Otherwise, it won't look good either. And I'm gonna actually use this really, really amazing brush that's angled by Redkin, which also has a tip at the end if we need to separate partings. But it just makes it so his ear stays clear of me bumping it or anything with lightener, and just fits really nicely for that frontal area, basically his sideburn. And now we just basically are going for that full saturation. We went in with the shorter bristle brush and really combed through that lightener.
Today for our client's treatment, we're going to be using the Acidic Bonder by Redkin. This came out and I was so excited about it. And today, because we did a bleach global formation, we're going to be using all 3 for damage and dryness, because you can combine them if they just have dryness or if they have both, which I love about this line. And today we're going to use all 3 with the proper mixture. So you want to make sure you get the consistency and color of the inside of a banana peel, which we pretty much are already there, as you can see. Perfect, clean consistency. We're going to wash in cool water, not cold, not hot. While he processes for 2 to 3 more minutes, I'm going to go check out what we're going to use for his toner. Today for our client's toner, we're going to use 0.3 ounces of the 10 VV Bonder Inside and 0.2 ounces of the 9M Mattes. And then we're going to use equal parts processing solution, which would be 0.5 ounces to come out to a total of 1 ounce, because we don't need too much for his head. We want to use the Bonder Inside because it's going to keep the integrity of my client's hair. But I also want to add in the mattes because I love that kind of subdued mauve look.
So I'm just going in and putting in that toner with that Redkin applicator bottle. I love the way the tip of the applicator bottle has long spout, thin, and You can really utilize it when you're going in with root touch-ups, and in this case, toner to get to that root part and also smooth out the ends, as you can see I'm doing right now. And once everything is saturated, you definitely want to make sure you process this for the full time, 25 minutes tops. You can leave it less if you feel like you want a softer look. We're going to go more for that mauve-y look, so we're going full 25 minutes.
You notice how it processes faster on the hair that's more porous. And that's why it's so important to go in with a treatment, especially one like Redkin's acidic bonder. So that way it processes evenly.
So we're fully processing the 25 minutes, the 10 VV, and the 9 Ms. It's going to get that perfect mauve-y look. It's not purple, it's not white blonde, it's just kind of like sunset sand. Like, I don't know, it's just, I love to combine these two. I love this formula I created. It's one of my favorites, 10 VV and 9M.
We're gonna go in with the acidic bonding concentrate shampoo. Trust the process. It's not purple, it's just toned. The perfect consistency. I love me a 10 VV and a 9M. It just works out so perfectly. Now we're gonna go in with conditioner. Keeping a light touch for that sensitive scalp. It's gone through a lot today. We're going to use about 3 pumps of this to bring the pH of the hair strand back to a normal level. And we're just going to let that sit for about 2 to 3 minutes. He's already looking delicious. I'm going in with my Hanzo sliding shears because I want to even out this haircut. I don't want a harsh cut, harsh blunt line. I want a real soft blended line that just kind of smooths out the whole style of the haircut. So as you can see, when I go in, it doesn't create a very harsh blunt line. It just smooths off the top, almost as if it's only really getting those little pieces of dry hair that we did from bleaching. You notice there's no harsh lines anywhere. It's just really blended. That's what I love about these shears. You don't even need, and I'll go in and point cut as well to create more blending. You don't even need your thinning shears. It just does the work for you. See, I don't want it all off. I just want to create that blend so you get fullness without the thickness.
We're going to go in and define this style with the Redkin water wax. It's going to give shine and definition and make it really piecey and just fuller.
See how this product gives such yummy shine. His hair looks like butter now. So handsome. So today on our client, we did a full global bleach out. We treated, we toned, and the thing I love about this industry, especially with Redkin, is as soon as he started transforming, his whole character came out. He was feeling funny and lively and having little quick wit remarks, and he's really excited to show off this haircut tomorrow and this hair color and style.
Agreed.
Sending my client home today with the acidic bonder concentrate, the shampoo, conditioner, and the leave-in treatment. It's going to be a good setup for his at-home care.